he gave this man money, and the man asked him, can I talk to you? And our son says, of course. He says, what's your name? So our son said his name. Said, what's your name? The man said his name. And the man asked him, can I play a song for you? To my son. He had a guitar. So he played the song, and our son was standing there and was listening. He said people were walking and looking at me like, is everything okay? How come he stopped to take the time to listen to this person's song? So he played the song, and apparently the song was about God. When he finished, our son told him that was a really nice song. And the man asked him, do you believe in God? I am Gabriela.
And I'm Elie.
And to this day in 2024, we've been married for 25 happy years. So today, Elie, we said we're going to talk about money and spirituality or God. I know, don't look surprised, Shari. I know many might feel that these two contradict or don't relate. And our hope is to show otherwise.
Okay.
So I have a few, let's call it money stories to share. So the other day, I took our eldest daughter, she's 22, to pay our property taxes for the home.
Wow.
Now, I usually, you can usually pay it online or go at the bank, but I kind of developed the customs to actually go to City Hall and do it because it's very close to our house. It's on the way to the kids' school, so I just stop there and I do that. So this last time I took our daughter to do it. I don't remember why, but I asked her to join me. And when we come out, she noticed me, I talk to the clerk, I give the checks, and, she closes the account, and we come out. And then our daughter asks me, why are we paying these property taxes? So I start explaining, we own a house here, so this is our way to pay for the roads and, other snow removal and all the other services that the local city gives us. And I could see the face on our daughter. She was, smoke was coming out of her ears. And she asked me a very profound question, which I did not have an answer. Why aren't there courses in high school that teach us those topics? Why do we have all these abstract, I would call them unimportant subjects, but aren't there also courses that actually teach you the practical ways of life, like paying taxes? She thought that only income tax that we pay is all the taxes that we pay. I told her, no, there's very creative categories of taxes that we have the pleasure of paying, and income taxes is just one of them. So this was one story that kind of, shows the conversation we have with our kids about money. The other story, it was a bit older story. When our boys were younger, they came to me after watching one too many TikTok videos, and they come with the important decision: we don't need to continue our studies, especially not go to college, because they see themselves, they're going to do day trading and they're going to be millionaires out of these activities.
I'm dying.
Beautiful. Now, I did not tell them, you shouldn't do that, or, this is a stupid idea, but I was trying to think to myself, okay, how can I give them better financial education and build on top of the ideas that they come to me? And it took several conversations and several iterations, and we reached to the point where they are now knowledgeable about investing, not trading. Trading, you try to buy low, sell high, very quickly turn a profit. Whereas investing, I told them the principles. Listen, there are a few indexes that you have to follow. You just keep putting money every month, whatever you get in your allowance, or if you have a job, instead of putting into a savings account, just put it in those investments. And I showed them the math. You take $100 over a month, every month, from the day you are 18 until the age you are 65. That just this is over $1 million. Now, obviously, right now $100 is a lot for them, but when they have a job, it's going to be a lot easier for them to put more than that. So I show them it's how realistic it is for them to reach, I would say, older age and have a few $1 million at their disposal. Now, these are just two examples of the transparency at which we and convenient, I wouldn't say convenient, but ease at which we actually talk to our children about our money. We are very transparent with them about all matters of money. I know that some families or some communities talking about money is a taboo. I definitely hear that feedback from our children. And so it's definitely not a taboo. We feel comfortable. Not only we feel comfortable, we feel it's our duty to give those lessons to our children. I definitely catch myself thinking, all the information that I have now, had I had it when I was 14, I would definitely have had several more zeros in a bank account.
Definitely,
At the
because you
time.
would have absolutely, you would have been able to start so much sooner if you
Yeah.
knew then what you knew now. If your kids know now what took you so long to figure out, because no parent really talked about that 30 years ago.
I think it's also a question of the mindset we're building, because for me, for example, I worked since I was young because I wanted, and it was to save for university, first for my driving license, then for university. But it was always a question of running after the money, a question of paying for what I need. You might look at that more of survival per se, not for food, of course, but me running after the money that I need. It was never about money being an energy that I can grow and that it can work for me. And I think that we're trying with Elie, what we're trying to mimic and teach our children is that on one hand, the value of money and the importance of being responsible with money, like all these ideas they got from TikTok to do day trading and not having to study because they're going to day trade, right? So the value of it, of how it's made, but at the same time, the belief that you can make it work for you as well. You can grow it. You don't have to chase it and run after it. So some of our children work and they take part of their salary and invest it. And because they are investing, they're also learning. That motivates them, right? I think Daniel comes to you all the time with more questions about investment, and he shows to Elie what he's learning. So that for me was important, to give them what I didn't have, because I was never aware that I knew investments exist, but I knew nothing about it, and never aware that I can actually make money grow. And it's not a direct correlation to the time and effort that I put.
So much of that has to do with our experience as kids, whether it be checking out what our friends and our schoolmates have, or whether it be what is shown to us, or the energy of money in the house. I just want to create, if I may, one even more relevant example of how you can make your money grow. Elie, you talked about investing in the market, and safe investing, not day trading. I just 2 or 3 days ago, I watched an old video of Susie Orman, who was the financial lady for Oprah years ago. She made a killing teaching people how easy it is to save money and not spend recklessly. And her example was, if at 16 years old you start buying yourself a Starbucks every day or every other day, and you just took that $5 to $10 a drink time, let's say, it came to $80 a month. And at 16 years old, you start taking all that Starbucks money, making your own coffee at home, and putting it into an account. You are a millionaire by 65. Now, I know that's a long time to be doing that, but it's coffee money, right? And that's something our kids are spending money on without even thinking about. So that's another example. But yeah, there's definitely an energy around money.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also quality time that you spend with the boys, because it's usually him. He's more knowledgeable. He is the one managing our investments. So it's a thing they did together. And I think for a child to say, you know, you remember the comment Daniel made one day?
Which one?
He made a comment about a kid that was whining about a situation. And then Daniel said, well, maybe he didn't have a strong father to teach him, you know, how to feel confident with himself. I was like, wow.
Well, wow, you know what you just told all of us? You just told all of us that money or teaching children, okay, you have this money, what are we going to do with it? Actually, the real value is the time you're spending with your son and what he's getting from spending time with you. Like, boom.
Oh, well, I have
Real
another
value.
story about that because we had an argument last week.
About IKEA?
Yes.
Okay. It's not really wasn't part of this
Yeah, we
episode, but
didn't.
let's go in. Let's see.
we we had an argument because we were doing some renovations and we're moving one of our boys' bedroom and we're moving him from
From one room to another.
from one room and from one single bed to having a double bed. So I said to Ellie, we really don't have the time to go buy the bed in IKEA. Let's just save time and make the purchase online and pay for the delivery. And he didn't want to do it.
It was actually free delivery.
Yeah, it wasn't because of the money. And I said, but we are just, so busy. We don't really have that time. Why wouldn't you just be more efficient and do that? And we had an argument and he said,
No, but wait. What ended up happening, I went to the store with him. We spent an hour and a half in that store, right? We picked up everything, and just before going to checkout, I go over the list and I realized that we're missing one box. And I work with customer service. They're out of stock of that one box. So that entire order, which we spent an hour and a half, and these are heavy boxes, we collected everything. We had to drop everything there and go drive 45 minutes to another IKEA branch and do the same deal over there. So basically, I spent 3.5 hours buying that bed instead of one click
Oh my
the
God.
internet and get it delivered and then carry everything right into the car, out of the car. It's a back-breaking work.
Yeah.
And she suggested, why didn't you just order online? Okay, so what was my answer? What
so we
was
were
I thinking differently than you are?
we were driving on this past Saturday night for we went on a date, just the two of us. And I said, so wouldn't have been easier to buy online? And I'll let him tell you what he said to me. And that's it. That was the end of the conversation.
You
The
lost.
answer-
I lost. But who's counting?
so the answer, yes, it was a lot easier to do it online. But what I was thinking and planning is that this is an opportunity for me to spend I didn't plan on 3 hours, but I was spending, it ended up being almost 4 hours of me spending quality time with our son, inside the car, talking, chatting, planning. I taught him how to shop, go online, look at the inventory. It was a whole thing that he got to do, and he got to do it with me, and he asked questions, he saw colors, he saw options.
You see our difference?
Yeah.
Remember the episode about the love languages, his quality time? I'm like, get it done.
Honestly, like I would be Gabby in this situation, and honestly, my husband is definitely Ellie in this situation. It's not that it didn't work out. It's not that it was a pain in the neck. It was one-on-one time with one of the kids, a whole different dynamic that never happens. Like, why not take advantage of that? It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't me.
I would probably be upset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The answer would be different.
And I would probably I knew we had to order online. I knew
Absolutely.
we had to order. Luckily, I was teaching, so I wasn't there.
Isn't that interesting, though? Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so why don't we come back to our original episode, and why don't you tell the story about the money conversation we had this past weekend around the dinner table?
Yeah. So the idea is not just to teach, the kids how to work with money as an energy, but also showing that because money is an energy, it has to flow. So during this time of the year, of course, we were preparing all our bills for our taxes, and so we made a summary of how much we have donated in 2023. So I said, okay, this calls for a conversation. on Friday table,
No,
and
no, sorry. We printed it, and they
yeah,
actually saw that we didn't plan on talking to them.
no,
But
no, I plan.
oh, you plan?
Yeah, yeah, I plan. They saw
Because
the
they saw
number.
the papers on the.
Yeah, yeah, but I said I plan in my head that this is going to be, and then I told you I
Okay.
want to do this, and he agrees. So anyway, I asked the kids, do you know how much money we donated this year? And they said, yeah, yeah, we saw in the papers you donated this. I said, well, in fact, we actually donated more because we donated we donated money to Argentina, and then I said, well, we actually donated more than that because each one of you, all of you, also donate. It's incredible how the kids really took after us when it comes to being generous. So they see that if somebody's asking for money and we have money in our wallet, we will give. We won't judge whether it's right or wrong. For me, if somebody's asking, they're already in that position. It means they probably need it more than me. So they do the same. The other day I was driving with one of them and somebody was asking and he only had a $20 bill and he gave that and he says, here goes my, I don't know, half of my allowance or something like that. And the other one was in New York for a weekend from the community, and he said, I spent $100, but most of it was just donations that I gave on the street. So they're very, very generous. The three of them, actually. The three of them. It's heartwarming. So I said, it's not just the two of us as the kids, it's us as a family. And I talked about what it does, spiritually speaking. You know, what happens when you do an act of generosity here in the physical world? What's the impact it has on the spiritual world? And not just directly to us, to the world in general, and the interconnectedness of acts of generosity. And you know, and I think this topic we discuss a lot with the kids about the effect of what we do, what it has to the world, and the belief in God. We say God, but it could be spirituality. I actually believe that it's very important to teach our children to believe in a higher power. Simply because when kids are young, they normally will go to their parents for support. So if they have a problem, who do they go to? When they're, okay, maybe not when they're teenagers because they're trying to separate, but when they're young, they go to their parents. But eventually, we will be gone, right? They will grow. And even if we're not gone, they stop coming to our parents because now they're adults. Hopefully, at a certain time, they'll feel that they have to figure out things on their own. But we can't always figure out things on our own. So what's going to happen when we're gone? If they need that extra support, if they want to feel that there's someone there to help them no matter what, when the parents are gone, then it could create an existential crisis if they don't actually believe that there is that higher power that it will never die, that is always there for them. Maybe when they're kids, they less feel the need because they have parents, but as adults, it's rare for us to go to our parents for help. So we always want to feel we have that higher power to turn to for prayer, for support, for connection, for guidance. I think it allows our children to be more resilient, more courageous, and to lead a life of value, faith, fulfillment. So in a way, what I'm trying to say is that I believe that at a certain point, God replaces the parents. And if there's no God, then it could create a void.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you understand what I'm trying to
I
say?
understand so well what you're trying to say. I think that a lot of children are not in environments that are open to even talking about that higher power or that interconnectedness or that thing that we don't see that can help carry us through something difficult or a challenge, or just be with us all the time, because it's in us, it's of us, and it's around us, but it can't be seen and it's seldom talked about. And I love that you brought this to your dinner table and that you infuse this idea in your kids for them to figure out each for themselves what that means to them and how available it is as a source of companionship, a source of support. And it's really generally only through crisis that people find that. And you're like preempting the, as you called it, the potential existential crisis when there is no one there to lean on or to ask a question of, or, to feel that that love is there. And you're preempting it by saying, it exists here. It's already there. It's
And
beautiful.
start building that relationship from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a relationship that is available to you. It
Yeah,
was always
and
available.
just tying it back into the money conversation, which perhaps it has already been said, is that, we do talk about money as an energy. It's a force. It is something that is not just a piece of paper or a bunch of coins you toss on your night table. It is actually something that in the giving you shall receive. In the receiving you must give.
Yes.
Just to kind of dumb it down into language we all understand, if we hang on really, really tight to what we have, it's hard to get more.
Absolutely. Um, Generosity, I believe, is a rule of life and a rule of abundance. And the idea is to teach our children from a very young age. I'll tell you, maybe we'll finish with this. I'll tell you, and I think I shared this story with you once, that our youngest was going to work and he takes the metro. And on his walk from the metro to the place where he works, he usually sees homeless people. So there was this homeless man, and he always have coins to give to the homeless, always. And if he doesn't, he will ask. So he gave this man money, and the man asked him, "Can I talk to you?" And our son says, "Of course." He says, "What's your name?" So our son said his name. Said, "What's your name?" The man said his name, and the man asked him, "Can I play a song for you?" To my son. He had a guitar. So he played the song, and our son was standing there and was listening. He said people were walking and looking at me like, is everything okay? How come he stopped to take the time to listen to this person's song? So he played the song, and apparently the song was about God. When he finished, our son told him that was a really nice song. And the man asked him, "Do you believe in God?"
Wow.
And our son says, "Yes, I do." "And you?" He says, "Of course I do." And then he says, "Thank you for listening to me." And he says, "Thank you for playing for me." And that was the end of the interaction. But come on.
That was not the end of the interaction. That was the beginning of something that lasts forever in your son. You don't forget that.
Yeah.
It's not even the song. He may not even remember the song, right? But that there's a spirituality, a spiritualness that will stay with him for that connection that they made. That's very beautiful.
I was
And a little bit brave of your son, because there are not too many young people out there who would actually say, sure, I'll stop and listen.
But you see, I think that story, which is, in my opinion, the word to describe it is pure grace.
Yes. Yes.
It allowed itself to manifest because I think all the I wouldn't say teaching, because, or more the exposure with our kids around interconnectedness and believing in higher power. We teach them that, and then they go to the world, and then they creates a ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we go, you know what? What do we truly want for our children? Do we want for our children to be successful, or do we want our children to be the kind of people that attracts, that create success because of the people they are, the values they have, the virtues they learn? It's not so much about the results, it's about how they're leading their lives.
Absolutely. It's a gorgeous story and a great experience for your son to have had, to have given himself. Yeah. That's beautiful. Love it.
Okay.
I think, yeah, we'll end with that story because
It,
it's too bad to add anything after that.
exactly. It's perfect.
Thank you, Sherry, for playing with us.
Thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.